right, fight fans, let's dive into the heavyweight showdown that's got everyone talking. Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois, a clash of two very athletic individuals that's set to rock Wembley Stadium to its core. Two knockout artists, one ring, and a whole lot of predictions flying around. So, who's going to be the last man standing when the dust settles? Let's break down what the pros and fans are saying about this explosive matchup. Tony Bellew, never one to mince words, is backing Joshua all the way. He's predicting a quick and brutal end if AJ faces Dubois, saying you'll get away with 1 or 2 against AJ, and then you know what happens, then you go to sleep. On the flip side, we've got Joe Joyce giving the edge to his former opponent Dubois. Joyce thinks Dubois has the power to put Joshua on the canvas, stating, let's hope Daniel knocks him out and then I get to fight him the end. Frank Warren, Dubois' promoter, is throwing his weight behind his fighter. He boldly claims, I think he's a bigger puncher than Anthony Joshua, I really do. Warren's even gone as far as to predict Daniel Dubois is going to knock AJ out.
Look, he's a young man, he's 26. I've seen AJ when he's under pressure and how when he gets under the cosh, how he reacts. And it's going to be a battle of the jabs, this. Who's ever got, the jab is the key to this fight. It's the heart, the mind, and the jab. That is the key to it. Everything will come off the jab. They're two massive big punches. It will not go the distance. This fight will not go the distance. And I genuinely believe that Daniel has the ability to knock him over.
Frank, I have to ask, obviously we get Boazzi Hutchinson as well, but what's the latest with Anthony? Obviously we were seeing Anthony Boazzi was quartered.
I've spoken with him, they withdrew from the purse bid, and these two guys have got it on. That's where we are.
I do want to talk about Hamza Shiraz, obviously ambassador for Riyadh season, somebody who always comes in and said, Age is my role model, but talk to me about how hard it was to make a fight for him, because he said there were so many fights he wanted but never got made.
Well, we wanted, look, he's number one in 2 organisations for the world title, but both the world champions are fighting. So we looked to find a fight, and we were looking at Felix Cash if he came through, but obviously he got beat. So that gave Tyler his chance. So he's in, and there we go. It's a good fight. It's a very, very good fight, and it keeps him working and in the picture.
I do want to talk about Tyson Fury quickly before we let you go. He has done his first public interview, and a few things he said in that was that, listen, it was easy, he felt like he should have won the fight, and next time around he feels like he needs to knock him out because he doesn't feel like he's going to get a decision. Do you feel like that is the case, that you might not get a decision, so he needs to stop Alexander Usyk?
I think up until he got caught on the nose, I think, at that stage he was spraying some good shots, and he was hurting Usyk, no doubt about that, but he got caught on the nose and he lost his concentration. I thought he won it, not by a lot. I just think I don't think there was a lot in it, but I thought he won the fight. But the bottom line of it is, you can't change the decision. One of the judges gave it to him. He gave it to him, one of the judges, and now we're in a situation where, no doubt, we will find out on the 21st of December in Riyadh who's going to win it. I generally feel Tyson has the beating of him. I felt it in that fight. He had the beating of him, but. As I say, he lost his concentration when he got caught on the nose.
But hold up, because Ricky Hatton's got a different take. The Hitman's backing Joshua, saying, well, I think AJ beats Daniel. He's bigger than Daniel for a start. And that's saying something because Daniel is a beast of a fighter. But AJ's got his confidence back now. Carl Frampton's sitting on the fence a bit, acknowledging both fighters' strengths. He says, I have to favor AJ in the fight, but both are big, strong, athletic men. Any man can win the fight.
Favor AJ. You have to favor AJ in the fight, but it doesn't. Both big, strong, athletic men. Any man can win the fight, but I have to favour AJ.
I think Dubois fights in the same way he fought Hrgovic.
Yeah, I think he'd be brave, but he'll need to be a bit more cuter. He get hit a lot, way too much against Hrgovic. He can't get hit that much against AJ. But I think that he will be brave. I don't think it's a long fight at all. I think it's a pretty quick fight either way, maybe 3 or 4 rounds.
You've seen this comment, I believe it's that Joshua, when he gets hit, he might take him back to the Ruiz fight. PTSD was the thing that Simon Jordan threw out there. As a fighter, I want your perspective. Do you ever think in the back of your mind, like, look, this could happen and, it might shake me?
Not really. I think you always try to, there's always doubts creep in, but you always try to be completely confident. And Josh is in great form at the minute, as is Dubois, so I'm just looking forward to a great fight.
Otto Wallen, who's been in the ring with AJ, thinks Joshua's got this in the bag early. He predicts, I think that Joshua's going to win within the first 5 or 6 rounds if that happens. But what about the fans? They're just as divided as the pros. One fan's rooting for Dubois all the way, saying, lol, Dubois just can't get a break on this site. Nearly everyone predicted Hrgovic would take him to the cleaners. Then when Dubois beats the living shit out of the guy, all attention turns to how Joshua is just going to turn up and decapitate him. Another fan's not buying the Dubois hype, stating, "Come on, Dubois is rubbish. AJ would make easy work of him. The HW division is stick thin right now." So what's the real deal here? Is this just another case of gym tales getting blown out of proportion? Or is there something more to these persistent rumors about Joshua's chin? Let's dig deeper into what makes this fight so intriguing. On one side, we've got Anthony Joshua, the golden boy of British boxing. He's been to the mountaintop, fallen off, and now he's climbing his way back up. 4 wins in 11 months, 3 of them knockouts. AJ's looking like the destructive force we remember. But let's not forget, this isn't the same AJ who burst onto the scene with an Olympic gold medal. He's been tested, he's tasted defeat, and he's had to reinvent himself. The question is, has he truly overcome his vulnerabilities, or are they just waiting to be exposed again? On the other side, we've got Daniel Dubois, the young lion looking to take over the pride. He's had his setbacks too, but man, has he bounced back with a vengeance. Knocking out Gerald Miller and Filip Hrgovic in back-to-back fights? That's no joke. Dubois is hungry, he's powerful, and he's got youth on his side. But does he have the experience to deal with someone of Joshua's caliber? Can he handle the pressure of headlining at Wembley? One fan summed up the situation perfectly. Anthony Joshua, sure, has a lot of wins compared to the amount of times he's been knocked out. According to sparring stories, he's 0-20 as a sparrer and ranks somewhere in the bottom top 100 in sparring. This comment hits on a crucial point: the disconnect between Joshua's public image and these persistent rumors. On paper, AJ's record is impressive, but these sparring stories keep popping up like a stubborn speed bag. So, what's the truth? Are these stories just the result of jealousy and attempts to discredit a successful fighter? Or is there some substance to them that could indicate potential vulnerabilities in Joshua's game? The reality is, we may never know the full truth. Sparring sessions are typically closed-door affairs, with only a select few privy to what really goes down. And let's be honest, everyone involved has their own agenda. But here's the thing, does it even matter? At the end of the day, what happens in sparring is just preparation. It's what a fighter does under the lights, with thousands watching and millions on the line, that truly counts. Joshua himself seems to understand this. Despite all the noise, he's remained focused on his goals. After his loss to Ruiz, he didn't make excuses or point fingers. Instead, he went back to the drawing board, made adjustments, and reclaimed his titles in the rematch. This resilience is what separates the great fighters from the good ones. It's easy to look invincible when everything's going your way. The true test of a champion is how they respond to adversity. And let's not forget, every great fighter has had their moments of vulnerability. Muhammad Ali was dropped by Henry Cooper before he became the greatest. Mike Tyson tasted canvas against Buster Douglas. Even the seemingly invincible Tyson Fury had to peel himself off the floor against Deontay Wilder. The point is, no fighter is untouchable. What matters is how they respond to these moments of adversity. And so far, Joshua has shown he's capable of bouncing back from setbacks. But the questions will persist. Every time Joshua steps into the ring, these sparring stories will be in the back of people's minds. Is his chin suspect? Can he take a big punch from a heavy hitter? These are the questions that add an extra layer of intrigue to his fights. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. In a sport that thrives on drama and storylines, these rumors and speculations keep things interesting. They give fans something to debate and discuss. They add an extra element of uncertainty to every Joshua fight. As for Dubois, he's got his own questions to answer. Can he shake off the quitter label that's followed him since the Joyce fight? Has he truly evolved as a fighter, or will he crumble under the bright lights of Wembley? One fan pointed out, Dubois is good at front foot pressure, powerful, with reasonable speed for someone his size. AJ's a freak. AJ's the best athlete the heavyweight division's probably ever had as an athletic specimen. This highlights the contrasting styles we're likely to see in the ring. Dubois, the aggressive, come-forward fighter, against Joshua, the more polished, technically sound boxer. It's a classic clash of styles that could produce fireworks. Another fan added, I think fans of Dubois are capable of seeing his weaknesses. I guess it comes down to how good you think Joshua is. Personally, I think some folk go way overboard in predicting what Joshua will definitely do to decent fighters. This is a great point. In boxing, it's easy to get caught up in the hype and make bold predictions, but the reality is, anything can happen when two heavyweights start throwing leather. So what's the verdict? Who's gonna come out on top in this clash of British heavyweights? If you're looking at experience and resume, Joshua's got the edge. He's been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. He's fought at the highest level, dealt with the pressure of big stadium fights, and come through adversity. But if you're looking at momentum and hunger, Dubois might have the advantage. He's on the rise, he's got something to prove, and he's coming off 2 impressive knockout wins. One thing's for sure, this fight isn't likely to go the distance. As Carl Frampton said, I don't think it's a long fight at all. I think it's a pretty quick fight either way, maybe 3 or 4 rounds.
For AJ, you have to favor AJ in the fight, but it doesn't. Both big, strong, athletic men. Any man can win the fight, but I have to favor AJ.
I think Dubois fights in the same way he fought Hrgovic.
Yeah, I think he'd be brave, but he'll need to be a bit more cuter. He get hit a lot, way too much against Hrgovic. He can't get hit that much against AJ. But I think that he will be brave. I don't think it's a long fight at all. I think it's a pretty quick fight either way, maybe 3 or 4 rounds.
You've seen this comment, I believe it's that Joshua, when he gets hit, he might take him back to the Ruiz fight. PTSD was the thing that Simon Jordan threw out there. As a fighter, I want your perspective. Do you ever think in the back of your mind, like, look, this could happen and, you know, it might shake me?
Not really. I think you always try to. I mean, there's always doubts creep in, but you always try to be completely confident. And Josh is in great form at the minute, as is Dubois. So I'm just looking forward to a great fight.
So fight fans, what do you think? Is Joshua going to reassert his dominance and show why he's still one of the top heavyweights in the world? Or is Dubois going to shock the boxing world and announce himself as the new king of the division? We would love to hear your predictions in the comments below. And remember, in boxing, you're only as good as your last fight. On September 21st at Wembley Stadium, we'll find out who's really the top dog in British heavyweight boxing. Until then, keep your guard up and your eyes on the prize. Because in this sport, the next big upset is always just one punch away.